Hi felters, and welcome. In today's video we're looking at the Autumn Equinox collection from World of Wool, which is a really fantastic bag for what I wanted to achieve today. So the silks, or what you get in it, is a bamboo, a silk, 2 times Corriedale, which is an amber and a mustard. Then you get the Sari Silk Wildflower. That is a really good one. That's a Manx Logan, which I didn't use in the end, but the colours are beautiful, especially that mixed one at the front. You'll see when the pumpkins come out how good it looks. So I'm going to do a bit of wet felting, and this is based off, because I didn't know how to achieve this effect without wet felting it, and this is based off the Living Felt video on wet felting pumpkins. I'm going to link it in the description below because it's perfect and it runs all through it, really in much more detail than me, but here I am just giving you ideas. So that little round bit, that's called, well, it's called a resist, but it can be anything that the wool's not going to stick to. So I am taking the Corriedale Amber, is the first colour, and I'm laying it out in really thin layers all the way around. So if you've done any wet felting, you'll know how to do this, but I am still a real novice with wet felting, but all I'm doing is giving it a go and trying and seeing what happens. It does shrink down quite a bit, so I ended up afterwards doing a much bigger pumpkin, but you can see how I'm doing the layers nice and thin, and then you shouldn't do them in the same direction all the time, so you alternate the directions. So I've layered down probably about 5 or 6 layers. The Sari Silk Wildflower, or this is one of the other silks I'm just putting in, but the Sari Silk Wildflower, I leave most of it towards the top so it will show really well, and it just gives such a lovely effect. So with wet felting, I'm still a little bit sort of unsure about what I'm doing, but I'm just definitely testing things out. So I wanted to use some lights, and I thought if I can create a sheer effect, then they might be able to shine through. So this is part of a wet felting kit that I got from Heidifeathers. So it's an olive oil soap, and as I said, the Living Felt video is really fantastic. She talks through everything, and it's much more detail than me, but I'm just trying to give you an idea here. So you sprinkle some of the soapy water, slightly warm soapy water, onto it, and then we're going to do, I doubled over the bubble wrap because I don't have any linen, and it still worked really, really well. And in all, the whole process took me about, with layering, about 25 minutes. I always think in my head that wet felting is going to take forever, but it doesn't take that long. And even in the Living Felt tutorial, you don't have to be really rough with it, which I thought you did, especially something that's going to be as thin as this. So turn it over, and we're going to be creating a pumpkin with a little hole in the top so we can put the lights in. So this is the first layer, so I've turned it over, and then you fold these in. Do the second layer on this side. So here we go, I've speeded it up so you don't have to sit through it all. And then you wet that, give it a slight rub with the 2 bubble wrap pieces, and then fold that over, turn it over and then fold that over again. And this gives you the complete circle, or the complete ball, which is really, I just find it fascinating how it works in the end and how it felts together as well. So here I am just making sure it's all wet, giving it a little bit of a rub just to bring it together so it doesn't sort of pull apart, turn it over again, and then fold those bits in, and then that completes your edges, shall we say. And just have a check that you haven't got any thin bits, because I did want this to be fairly thin but still hold its shape. And then you start doing the wet felting process. So the roller I got, it was a Heidifeathers wet felting kit, and I'm sure World of Wool sell some as well, so do go and have a look. And you can see there it's just starting to come together, so you have to give it the little pinch test where you pull it up, and surprisingly it was coming together quite quick. When you have the silks in it, they definitely felt quite quickly, and they felt at a different rate. We'll do a mushroom second, which I do very quickly just to give you ideas of things you can do with lights. And the mushroom silk in the stem is really pretty. Oh, did so much of it. I had to have a quick cup of tea and a biscuit. But here we are. I've taken, or I'm about to take, the resist out. Oh yes, I had a couple of gaps. So I added a bit of wool and then felted that down again, not for too much time, and that seemed to cover up the gaps really well. I wasn't sure if you could keep adding, but obviously you can. And then once you feel it's relatively done, then you pull out the middle bit, and then you keep giving it a bit more of a rub and a bit more pressure. And I had to add a little bit more water because I felt it was drying out. And stop every now and again and just check that the two layers aren't connecting at all. They shouldn't once it started to felt a little bit. But it really didn't take that long, but it does shrink down. As you can see, the resist was a little bit, was quite large, and then towards the end the pumpkin's tiny. And that's something I'm trying to get used to, is the shrinkage levels. It's at least a third. So, and then I stuffed it with a little bit of paper because I always like to do things quickly, and I thought this would help keep its shape. And then I popped it in the oven for 15 minutes at 120, which is really, really low temperature. Sat down, had a quick read of my farm book, which I'm still getting through, really enjoying. But yeah, it was dry and done. So it's roughly got the shape. When you do the cut, make sure it's tiny. As you can see, my cut was a little bit too big. And then these lights are LED lights, so they don't warm up. And I just started to sort of pop them in and see what it's going to look like. And it was starting to shine through, and obviously it's bright daylight. So I did do a stem with some curly locks on the top. So this is like the base, and I can attach the curly locks to that base bit. And it was literally just going to sit on the top. I didn't know how else to do it. With the other pumpkin, I did do it at the side, at the back, and that didn't work as well. So definitely try and aim to have the hole at the top of the pumpkin just there. So when you put the lid on, it covers it up. So here they are during the day, and look at the wildflower colours. I'm going to do some more with that because I just really love the effect. And then here's the other one I did, which is a bit bigger, and I've stuffed that full of lights, and they look so pretty and so cosy. So on I went to the next plan. So I wanted to do a mushroom. So I got, this is scarlet, that's a carded wool, and then I always try and put some merinos in. This is a glittery one from Heidifeathers, and some neps, and this is the silk that I was talking about. I think it's a cashmere silk. This is the mushroom shape, so it's quite large, and I'm going to stop it before the bottom because I don't want it to connect at the bottom. I want that to be open. So I probably would have done the mushroom one a bit smaller. But here I am layering it up, and you can see that dark colour there, that really shows through actually quite a bit. And the neps, I've done some neps and then some just rolls of the silk. And you can see the dark there. Now I've wetted it all, done it, and you turn it over and turn it over, and make sure you get the neps along the edge so that you don't have sort of a clear line on the mushroom. And then I popped it over a bowl. And this is the base, and I just use the carded wool, the silk, not the neps, move them out of the way, and you'll see the silk in a minute. Make sure you leave the top so you can pull the resist out, otherwise it sort of disappears inside. And I put that around a spoon, and I put that on the bowl, and I shoved them in for 15 minutes. So I've attached the lights together, put 3 lights in there, and then I've sewn them into the top with fire line, which is a clear wire. It's a beading wire. I'll list that down below as well, so you've got all the details of everything. And I've loosely sewn it in. Then I did 4 wires through the top. I'm not sure how else to hang it to make it look nice. And then so I've just put the attachments. You have to be able to reach the attachments to turn them on, is the thing. Look at the silk, isn't it? I mean, I'm not a wet felter, so I'm amazed, but this is what wet felting people do. So I've just popped that in, and then I actually just did a little pipe cleaner at the top to keep it there. And this is it hanging, and it looks quite nice even hanging. I think I would have made it a bit smaller so it would held its frame better. But oh, it looks so nice at night. And I know I've done well when I bring it in and the family say, oh, that's nice. And they really like it straight away. So it's just fun to play around with lights, to try out the wet felting. Don't be scared of it. Like I said, I'm still testing it out and experimenting. Look at the Living Felt video, linked in the description below. Here it is in the dark, where it's completely dark, and it looks so magical. So I'm really, really pleased with it. In the end, the pumpkins, I stuffed them because I loved the effect of the wet felting. I thought it looked really nice. So here they all are on the side. This is my pumpkin stack that I did recently. and I'll list that video up here. But I hope you've enjoyed that. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.